Hello everyone. My name is Matt, and you've probably seen, if you've seen a few of the other videos, the things like how to change out a 2016 Honda CR-V air filter, cabin, and engine air filter. Well, this one is another video that kind of has to do with cars. So today, it is Sunday, it's raining outside where I live in Massachusetts. I'm in my car. I went to Dunkin' Donuts, and right now I'm just sitting in the parking lot of where I live. So I wanted to make this video because I saw a video recently on YouTube where someone was going over how much they paid every month to basically drive their car. They drove a 2017 Dodge Hellcat. That's a Challenger SRT, I believe, or something like that. I'm gonna get a lot of feedback if that's wrong, but anyway, he was talking about 2017 Hellcat and how much he paid every month to drive that for his YouTube channel. And he was going over some things that I was like, you know what, actually I'd like to make a video about that too. Specifically, not about a Hellcat, but about buying, financing, or leasing a car. So those are the three options that you have when you are buying a car, and I kind of liked how he got into it, so today I'm going to get into it as well. I'm going to go over a few things that maybe people didn't know beforehand. I certainly didn't when I bought the car that I have, a 2014 Volkswagen Passat. I bought this at the end of 2017, November 2017. So it was about a 3-year-old car at the time. And there were things that I didn't realize when I was filling out all the paperwork and buying it that isn't just specific to Massachusetts where I live, because every state has different driving laws, but this is something that can literally affect you anywhere you are in the US, anywhere you're trying to get a car. So, like I said, there are 3 ways that you can own a car. You can lease it, finance it, or buy it. So let's do the first one, leasing it. Leasing a car means that you basically rent it. You're renting a car for, most of the time it's a 3-year term. You lease the car for 3 years. So you basically rent it. What does that mean? You don't own it. You will never get the title as long as you're in a lease deal. You're locked in for 3 years, and you pay sometimes a little bit more than you would if you were financing or buying a car, just because, like, in terms of dollar amount. So, with a lease deal, what happens is a car is an asset. That is something that holds value for you, whether you buy it or finance it. It means that you are owning this car to hold it as something that you claim as part of your worth. Like, you drive your car and it is yours, and it will be yours for the foreseeable future. We'll go into that too. With financing, it could not be yours, it could be taken back. But with leasing a car, you're basically renting an asset. You're renting something that you that it's not part of your worth, because you don't technically own it, unless you decide at the end of your 3 years to outright buy the car that you were just driving for 3 years. You basically buy it from the dealer. You don't own it, and it has nothing to do with you. So there are some good things about that, and basically with leasing a car, the good things that come with it would probably have to be the warranty. Because you don't own the car, you can basically, a lot of the things that go wrong with it are included in some type of warranty. So that is actually very, very valuable. Because it's not yours, the dealership owns your car, they care a lot about how it runs, how it looks, and everything like that. A lot of the times you get a great warranty deal with a lease. So with a lease, you are basically protected in that you don't own this car and you can give it right back, so you don't have to worry about certain things that happen. You always have to pay for oil changes and brakes, like that's just the wear and tear on a normal life of a car. But that has nothing to do with your ownership. Your ownership of it could include costs of actually having to pay to maintain things that actually go wrong other than the tires and the brakes. But with a lease, typically that is included, just because at the end of it, if you don't hold on to that car, then they're going to try to resell it. It's going to go right back to them, and they're going to want someone that's going to want to buy it. It's like the car that I bought, the car that I'm in right now, came off of a lease deal in 2017. And it looks like a rental car. I mean, I've kept it looking really nice. Like there's nothing. There's like no blemishes on the outside. There's a small ding on like the back of my trunk, but that's okay. So lease cars are kept in like mint condition, because if you don't keep them in mint condition, if you drive over the mileage that you're not allowed to, because you buy a mile package when you're first getting into a lease deal, you could buy 12,000 miles, 13, 14, 15,000 miles, and that determines how much you pay. The more you pay is the more miles that you're trying to book for. Then the dealership will upcharge you on everything. So like typically lease cars are in like impeccable condition because they have to be returned to the dealership basically the way that it came off the lot. Otherwise you're gonna pay a lot. You know, if you spill wine on a bed in a hotel, the hotel is gonna upcharge you like $100 to like clean the sheets. They could just throw some OxyClean on it, and you know that's like $2, but because you did that, because you ruined a bed, or because you made a bed imperfect, they're gonna upcharge you for that. So it's the same thing that goes with a lease deal. So, and like I said, with lease deals, a lot of the times you're not really driving it for that long anyway, because you have to go in every certain amount of months, because you have to check in to see how many miles you're at. But you buy it package based on how much you're going to drive it. So that's with a lease. Your mileage is controlled, you don't own it, and typically when they come off a lease, cars that come off a lease are like in impeccable condition. And a lot of people like leasing because they don't want the depreciating asset. So you don't own something that's going to be continuously losing value, as cars do. Unless you own a Ferrari, then, mention that in the comments of this video, because that means that your value is going up on your car, not down. So a lot of people don't like to hold an asset that depreciates in value. That's why a lot of rich people, they don't own cars, they lease them. Because what's the point? But I'm going to get into the point for why you would buy or finance a car next. So with the next one, number 2, we'll just do, because I completely forget the order that I said that I would do it in, we'll do financing. What does financing a car mean? Financing a car means that this is a tricky one, because I'm financing this car. This car is financed. I did not lease it. It came off of a lease when I bought it, and I don't own it outright. When you finance a car, basically that means that you are going to, at the end of the day, own the car at some point in time. You can pick, typically it's 3, 4, 5, or up to 6 years that you finance. 3, 4, 5, or 6 years that you finance a car. Typically it's not more than 6 years, and with like something like a Ford Fusion or like a Honda Accord, you don't get up to 6 years because they don't want you to do that. They don't want you to finance that. They'll make it harder for you, or they just won't give it to you as an option. So with that, with financing a car, you don't typically own it until after your 3, 4, 5, 6 years is up. You are paying for it because you put down money. You put down money and or you have a trade-in that has value to obtain the car in the first place, and then the rest is financed. So that means that if you buy if a car costs $10,000 and you're planning on financing it, you put $3,000 down. That means that you put up $3,000, you owe $7,000 on that car. That's basically, you're going to have to take out a loan for that, and you're going to have to pay interest on that loan for however many years, 3, 4, 5, 6 years that you own it. So if you have $7,000 that you owe and you pick 3 years to pay it back, you're going to be paying more upfront because it's a shorter amount of time that you're going to be owning it for, like paying back the loan for. You're going to be paying more. So with that, you basically $7,000 divided by 3 years is how much you would pay in a year. Now you have to include the interest rate too, whatever interest rate you're approved for. So don't forget that too when it comes to costs of owning a car. When you finance it, you have to pay interest on that loan. But basically that's how it works. So like you have a $10,000 car, you front $3,000, so you put $3,000 down, and then you basically owe $7,000, let's just say again, over 3 years. So $7,000 divided by 3 years, and then you come out with your monthly payment when you divide that by 12. So that's how you finance a car. And the important thing I didn't know when I was buying this car, I do technically own this car. So it is mine, like it's registered to me, it's insured by me. The only thing that's special is when you finance a car, because you're basically going to pay off the full amount at a future date. You buy it, and 3 years later, you're going to be paying it off in full. If you keep up on time, then you don't own it as of yet if you buy it here. Until you get to that date that you pay it off, you don't own it technically. What I mean by that, you can't just go sell it to anyone because the title is not in your name. The title of a car is basically saying, I own this car. This title, because I'm financing this car, is not in my name. It's in Volkswagen's name. And I didn't know that until I got to the dealership. I had no idea. I'm only 24, and at the time, I was 22 when I bought this car. So, sorry, I was 23 when I bought this car. So, with that being said, like a 23-year-old, I haven't been around long enough, and I don't do this as like a hobby or a business to be in the business of buying cars constantly. My previous 2 cars I bought straight up in cash. So this time I decided to go for something a little bit nicer and finance it, because why not? Why put all that money up front? But we'll get to that for buying. So with that, the title is not in your name when you finance a car. Until the end date that you completely pay off the car, the title is not in your name. You can't just go sell it to a friend, to a dealer, or to a random guy off Craigslist. You can't sell it because it's in the car company's name. Mine is in Volkswagen's name. Until the day that I pay it off completely, my loan, it will then, once I pay off my loan completely, it will then be transferred from Volkswagen and sent in the mail to me with my name on it, saying that I own this car. Technically, with all the paperwork and the legal gibberish, I do own it because I'm financing it. I'm saying that I'm going to own it at a future date, so it is mine. It's not a lease where I'm renting it and it's not in my name, or it won't ever be in my name. So I hold this car as value to me because I own the debt on it, or I'm paying the debt on it. I'm also going to be claiming the value of the car. So that's a huge thing when it comes to assets and depreciating assets, is even though this car is depreciating, I'm still paying off the debt to even get to the point of when I originally said I'm going to buy it at this price. So that is financing a car, and that's a little tidbit for you if you didn't know that when you finance a car, the title is not in your name. At least in Massachusetts. Correct me if I'm wrong, comment about that. The very last one is the easiest one, buying a car. No problem. That means that you literally, a car costs $30,000 at the dealership. You literally go in with $30,000 in cash. You just straight up buy it. My last 2 cars, I had, working backwards, I had a 2004 Grand Cherokee that I paid for. It wasn't that much. It had like 142,000 miles on it when I first bought it. That I paid in cash for. Straight up cash money, and that's how you can just buy a car. You don't need an interest rate. You don't you don't get any kind of loan or anything like that. I mean, you could technically like get a loan from your bank and just like go and get a car. But typically it's bought straight cash. If you have cash money, then you just go and buy it. There is no financing involved. You own it. You own the depreciating asset. You claim it for your value. You have the title in your name. Everything comes out to you owning it, and you take full responsibility and ownership, including for maintenance cost and everything like that. Unless you bought it and you have a warranty because it's brand new. I'm talking used cars. I'm young. I'm not in the point where I'm buying new cars yet. I'm talking used. So this is for everyone that's buying a used car. Buying it, you don't typically get a warranty. With the one that I'm driving, this is actually a certified pre-owned. We'll get into that in another video. But anyway, I just wanted to talk a little bit about what is leasing, financing, and buying a car, and what does it all mean? How does it all work out? Because a lot of things you don't realize until you actually get to the dealership and they have you in front of them, and you're just signing your life away on these papers for whatever kind of car you're buying. So I hope that this helped, and I hope that you enjoyed it. And if you want to comment about anything, you can comment about my Hellcat screw up, or if you own a Ferrari, then go right on ahead. But I hope that you again enjoyed this. I'm going to try to come up with a few more car videos. Like I said, I just came up with that right now. I'll come up with a certified pre-owned video, because that's really interesting, owning a certified pre-owned. I will probably never ever buy a car brand new or used. I will probably for the rest of my life buy certified pre-owned cars or finance them. So anyway, that is my video, and I hope that you enjoyed it. Bye.